What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Today is no different. I have Jason Patel. You can check it out at openforge.ai. And Jason, before I formally introduce you, I always like to point out other episodes of the podcast people should check out. Since this is part of the, we'll call it SaaS and AI series, on this combination, Dara, who founded Delphi.ai is cool. You can clone yourself using there. I actually... Jason did some interviews with people, and when I reached out to Dara, I'm like, I don't want to interview you, I want to interview your AI clone. And so I interviewed, there's like a 20-30 minute interview of me just interviewing his AI clone. And then I had him on, and he, the live real version. But it's a cool platform. Check it out. Also, Nicole Donnelly, that's how I heard about OpenForge. Nicole, I don't love the word guru, but she's like very well versed in AI and AI smart marketing. .com, and we just geeked out on all the AI tools. So check out that episode. And she mentioned you got to check out Jeremy OpenForge. I'm like, all right, now we're checking it out. This is great. Also, Pipedrive was a good one. Zapier, one of the co-founders of Zapier, was on. Just some really good SaaS founders if you want to check those out as well. And we're going to talk about, Jason mentioned a real estate property management company using OpenForge, DoorLoop. I had the founder of DoorLoop on. They've grown really quickly. I think in, a couple of years, Jason, they were like at over 200 team members or something like that. So we'll have to share this DoorLoop. Maybe they'll be using OpenForge in the near future. He's a good guy over there. So check that out and more on InspiredInsider.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise25. At Rise25, we help businesses connect to their dream, relationships and partnerships. We do this in a few ways. One, we're an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast. We do the strategy, accountability, and the full execution production. And number two, we're an easy button for a company's gifting. The gifting, staying top of mind to clients, partners, prospects, even staff from a culture perspective. People just send us the addresses. We do everything else. And it's kind of like a one-time gift. We like sending a campaign of gifts. So it's like, think 3 gifts a year for 3 to 4 years to come. So Jason, we kind of call ourselves the magic elves that run in the background to make it stress-free for a company to build amazing relationships. And, for me, the number one thing in my life is relationships. I always look at ways to give to my best relationships. I found no better way over the past 15 years than do, one, profile the companies and people I admire and share with the world what they're working on. Two, send them sweet treats in the mail. So go to rise25.com or email support@rise25.com. I am excited to introduce Jason Patel, serial entrepreneur, founder of OpenForge AI. As I mentioned, OpenForge AI is a platform of AI agents that helps your business get seen and drive customers through ChatGPT. If you've heard of the term GEO, I don't know who came up with that term, Jason, but GEO, not SEO, GEO. How are you getting found on these AI search engines? This is what OpenForge does. And previously, he started Transizion Education, which is an integrated knowledge platform that empowers institutions to mentor the next generation of students. He sold that, and this is his baby now. So, Jason, thanks for joining me.
Jeremy, thank you for having me. Super excited for the conversation.
I'm going to start off and just tell people about OpenForge AI and what you do. As you're doing that, I'm going to pull it up on the screen so we can check it out.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, again, thank you for having me. OpenForge is a platform that helps businesses get seen, cited, and selected by ChatGPT. So when a customer searches for you, we want you to show up there. When a customer searches for a query or a term or a product related to your industry or a product that you sell, we want you to show up. And what we do is that we have our own set of AI technologies, our own AI agents. We have our own AI that provides you with insights and automations to help you show up on AI search. So our AI will help you build content based on what your competitors are doing. It'll help you build technical optimizations for your website to make sure that AI can read your website. It'll help you create landing pages and assets and comparison charts to ensure that you're doing everything you can to make your site machine ready, AI readable for this new age of marketing and this new age of AI.
When I was talking to Nicole, she uses it. I know obviously companies use it, but there's a lot of a lot of agencies who do SEO for companies are like, okay, they need to stay ahead of the curve in this GEO realm. What are some of the things that you advise agencies through the platform?
Overall for agencies, the first thing I would say is that it really depends on what industry you serve. I say that because ChatGPT will weight different aspects of different industries more in order to get surfaced by ChatGPT. So what do I mean? For example, we work with businesses of all kinds, but one type of business we work with is a car manufacturer or car dealerships. And we have a major car manufacturer as a customer. We have a lot of car dealerships. ChatGPT loves surfacing car dealerships when they're cited by third-party review sites that are industry specific. And so what ends up happening is that our AI will help you build citations for those third-party review sites for your vehicles, your car dealerships, to ensure that ChatGPT can trust you. The reason why ChatGPT probably thinks that's important for car dealerships is because if you're making a major purchase, a car, it's very expensive. It's certainly a pull on the balance sheet. ChatGPT wants to ensure that you, as the consumer, are educated about the best buying options out there, which is why it promotes those third-party review sites. But with that said, for different industries like compliance in B2B SaaS, the website itself is something that ChatGPT loves quite a bit. So do you have good content on your website? Do you have comparison tables? Is your website HTML or machine readable? Do you have JavaScript object notation code? These are the things that ChatGPT loves on those sites and those companies to ensure that it's bringing those sites up. So again, to go back to your question about what I would tell agencies, first figure out and identify what type of customers you work with. And then you can reverse engineer what ChatGPT looks for correctly. And of course, we provide all of those insights on our platform.
I'm curious a couple things, and we're looking at your website here, and you can see anyone could check it out, openforge.ai, or check out the YouTube. But you can see you have actual insights, you have customer query insights, and people kind of navigate a little bit about what they would see on the inside if they got this. Competitive landscape, competitor opportunities. I want to see, one, I'm curious why you even started this company, right? This seems like a big undertaking. And two, we'll go into, I'm sure you've gotten feedback from customers throughout and why you built these pieces. Maybe you started with 2 and then you added brand overview, kind of the evolution of that. But why did you start this in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. My parents came to this country in 1985 before they had me. I owe all of, whatever opportunities I've been given to this great country. America is my country. I'm very patriotic. I want to help American businesses adapt and thrive in this new age of AI. It's certainly tumultuous and it's scary, because it is going to fundamentally alter the way we interact with the world, whether it's through wearables or commercial technology or anything from ERPs to shopping for different products. AI is going to change everything. It is a massive multi-trillion dollar opportunity. I'm talking potential double-digit GDP growth, at the very least, high single-digit GDP growth if the country does it correctly. But for the average person, for people like my parents, who are hard workers and are not on the bleeding edge of AI, this is something that is anxiety inducing, because it is changing the way we interact with everything, every aspect of our lives, and it's going to change even more. I want to be there for fellow American entrepreneurs, fellow American businesses, to help them embrace this new AI age. Change is scary, but change can be exciting because it provides a lot of new opportunities. If I could be one small part of that engine in American innovation and help my fellow countrymen, my fellow Americans, with adapting to AI and making money off AI, and then sending your kids to college off AI and everything that you do, I would love to be a small part of that. And so this company I started a company before this. I built and sold that. We did very well with SEO, search engine optimization, and this is AI SEO.
With
It's
transition, you're talking
with
about.
transition.
Yeah.
And we did very well against venture-backed competitors. I was dead broke when I started the company, and we fought tooth and nail. We did very well on SEO, and so when generative AI came out, I thought, wait, I mean, people are going to make multi-billion-dollar industries off of this, but it's also really scary. So this was a great way to wed my desire to help other businesses in this country, and then also just really hone in on what I'm very good at.
I mean, you saw the power of SEO with transition, it sounds like. And it seemed like there was a technical platform behind it. Are you a technical person or you team up with technical people? Because I saw like your background's in more political communication, not
Yeah,
computer science. So
yeah.
how did you navigate that?
Yeah, it's funny. I always make the joke. My co-founder, Lucas, is a white guy from Anchorage, Alaska, and he's the technical one, and the Indian guy from the Indian American from New
Right.
Jersey. I'm
Yeah.
I'm the business one. I'm not the technical one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We have a team, and a lot of the stuff that we built here is on the cutting edge of AI, but I'm not technical. Um, I'm the business guy, and I really focus on talking to other founders and entrepreneurs and other business people, marketers, on what are their key anxieties around the AI age and how is it changing your entire marketing funnel. Lucas is the one who has built and designed this whole thing. I would recommend him for an interview, but he's very private. Probably will hate that I'm mentioning him and giving him credit for everything right now, but I love the guy and he deserves a lot of credit for what he's built. I'm the one who goes out there and talks to our customers and learns more about the markets that need help. Um, and then we have a small team of engineers. This whole AI age is one of these things where you can be a small team and really carve out a good niche and make a very big business from using and leveraging AI correctly. And to get to the next point here is that AI, I firmly believe, is a human amplifier. It's not a replacement. I don't think AI is a labor replacement. I don't think people should view it that way. Think of AI as you hire a team of Navy SEALs, not necessarily a whole military, but a team of Navy SEALs, and you guys can move the world if you use AI correctly.
I'm curious, did you always, going from political communication, were you thinking, I want to start a business? What were you thinking when you were in college,
No,
high school? Because you
no,
started
man.
Transition
Yeah.
just a few years after college. So I don't know if that was the intent or how did you stumble into entrepreneurship?
One happy accident after another. I did politics at a school in DC called the George Washington University, thinking I would go and live in DC my whole life and go into politics. I worked in politics for 1 or 2 years, did not enjoy it. Um, did not enjoy it at all. I love the people I met. DC is an amazing place, and the people I worked for were amazing. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And so while I was working my the political job, I was volunteering on the side, helping low income kids with the college and career process. I fell in love with just the mentorship and the volunteering and
Was it through like a nonprofit that
it was through a
yeah.
nonprofit.
Okay, cool.
It was through like local charter, like a local, I don't know if they're called charter schools, but local schools essentially. And I fell in love with it. One of my kids that I was working with got a full ride to a bunch of schools. His mom said, don't do this for free, help people. But if you want to continue doing this, and helping and volunteering, you should start a business so that you could sustain yourself. And I
That's
thought,
what the mom said
well,
to you.
it's the mom's, it wasn't even my idea. It was the mom who said it. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I started a little consultancy. The consultancy grew. And then I had to create a technology platform out of it. And that created Transition Education. And then we
Were you
sold that
charging
in
people
2020.
directly then through that? Like, or
Yeah.
do you charge does it, okay. Because if
Yeah.
someone's low income, it's like, are they going to be paying a consultant to, right? Or do you
So
have
what
to go
ended up
up
happening,
market at that point?
yeah, yeah. So we went up market on the consumer sales side, and then we ended up working with a bunch
Yeah.
of schools, and that would subsidize the volunteering and just helping
Yeah.
kids who couldn't afford it, which was perfectly fine by us. Yeah, it was a great way
That's great. I
to
mean,
be
people will
to something fulfilling.
spend more on their kids than they will on themselves. I have found most of the time. So
which is a beautiful thing. That is the way of human beings and the way of loving parents. And that's the American promise, right? I want to build a better future for my children than I had for myself. And that's the promise of this whole thing. Children are everything. I don't have kids yet, but that's everything.
Speaking of that, Jason, the entrepreneurs who are first generation, second generation immigrants are always super hardworking. And a lot of times, they came from nothing or they came over here with nothing essentially, and then it's built up. What was your parents, what were they doing when they came over here?
Yeah, it was tough for them, and it's one of the big reasons why I have a strong sense of patriotism because they also recognize that America has given them everything. My parents came here 85. My dad worked at gas stations and just did odd jobs to support himself because he had to go to school again because his degree wasn't super accepted here for a whole bunch of reasons.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
Um,
know, they came over, there were doctors and engineers where they were, and then nothing translates and they have to
Not
clean
even that.
hotels or I mean whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've heard all those things.
My parents, I mean, they were young. They got married at 22, which is normal for that generation. It's not like millennials now where we get married in our 30s. And they got married at 22, and 6 months later they're in America. So they didn't have careers, they didn't have lives they built there. It was just whatever their way of life was there, they came here. Mom worked at McDonald's, Taco Bell. She did a lot of fast food stuff. And yeah, I mean, it was one odd job after another. And then in 91, 92, right around when my parents had me, or right before, actually, right after my parents had me, my dad got his lucky break from IBM. He kind of stumbled into a job at IBM and he credits IBM with changing our family's life. And so, yeah, it was 6, 7 years of really hard struggle for them. And then, it was struggle afterward because my dad, wanted to go into business for himself. He started two companies, both failed over time. And then, yeah, the third small business he had succeeded, luckily. But we were products of the American dream here, man.
I love it. No, thanks for sharing that. It's really inspiring. So I could see, okay, you weren't set out to entrepreneurship. It kind of stumbled across with, just helping people actually. And you start transition, you sell it, and now you see this big opportunity. And, you saw SEO and those things work so well in your previous business. You're like, well, the next phase is really AI and being discovered on the AI engine. So you start OpenForge. And I'm gonna, pull this up. I'm curious, what does the evolution look like of this? Because what features do you start with? And right now, I can see, you have all these features on here that you've built out, probably because of feedback and everything else. What was the original start of it look like? What was included?
Absolutely. So it's funny. This is it's a quote unquote older website. We have a lot more now, and the tool is 5x more powerful than what we created. And we created this website like 6 weeks ago. Like this is how fast things are changing. So we started out with a platform that will read your website, will read your competitors' websites. It'll analyze how you guys show up on ChatGPT, and then provide that full 3D 360 market data on what are you doing right, what are your competitors doing right, and then what should you do to close the gap. So then we give you those insights, those quantifiable insights. So we go very deep. We go deepest in the industry on the insights that we provide. But then when our customers were saying, hey, I really like the insights, but I'm busy. I got other things to do and I can't hire a team right now. What can you do to help me automate this whole process? Well, great. So then we ended up creating a couple of AI agents, one called Orion, which builds content. So essentially, Orion will read your stats and our recommendations, and then it will build content, up to 4,800 pieces of content for you every week or every month. And you don't need 48, you need like five. But so we overkill it to give you a lot of options. But Orion will essentially read the statistical analysis and how you're showing up on ChatGPT, and then it'll help you fill in those gaps. Then we launched a second AI agent called Caesar, named after Julius Caesar, or the ape from Planet of the Apes, whichever option you want to choose.
I didn't know that one.
We're
That
a bunch of
reference, but
dorks
yeah.
at the yeah, we're a bunch of dorks at this company. And I'm a history guy, so we called it Caesar. And Caesar essentially does the strategic intelligence for you. So another problem that customers had was they had to drink out of a fire hose of data. No one wants to do that. This is the AI age. You don't have to do that. So you'll have a bunch of data that our platform provides you. And then Caesar is an agent that reads all of that data and then tells you what to do next. So we're taking the creativity or the really hard thinking out of it if you don't want to think about it. And Caesar will create a battle plan for you and tell you what to do next so that you're really saving your time and then you can go about providing value to your customers in a different way. Then we have an AI agent coming up called Helix, and Helix is going to build third-party citations for you. That's well underway. That'll be launching in the next couple of weeks. Third-party citations are the gold standard for AI search. If you show up on third-party citations, you have a fighting chance to beat big corporations. And so we're going to help our businesses do that.
What other, and we'll go, I know you have some great videos. I encourage people, there's a resources and he's a YouTube channel. He's got lots of stuff. And I've listened to many, many videos, Jason talking, but just a few of the common mistakes people make, that is, preventing them from getting indexed from the AI engines.
So I think the first one is, and the top of funnel content. So content that was very wide ranging and broad was very good for SEO. And God knows, I built a successful company off of really good top of funnel content. The issue with that now is that AI can synthesize all of that content and then provide a summarized answer without giving you credit. Because if you can talk about top of funnel content, other people can talk about it too. So there's no differentiation. Wide top of funnel content is going to go away. Stop creating that. What you want to do is create low top funnel content. So maybe more specific topics, but be very specific. They can really drill down on those topics, but then mid funnel content where people are evaluating a potential product purchase, and then bottom funnel content where you're comparing yourself versus competitors. That type of content is very good. So that top of funnel, broad ranging content for a search term where 10,000 people search for it is not a good idea. The second thing is technical optimization. Your site should be HTML. It's got to be machine readable, have FAQs, pricing pages, because the future is going to be where AI agents, your AI friend, will do the work for you, the customer, in order to do research and find out what product is best for them. So what ends up happening is that your site has to be readable and understandable by AI search engines right now, and then AI agents later on. So things have to be structured correctly, clean. And so those are the two things I would say on a very top line basis. We need to make sure are optimized to get seen by these AI search engines.
Yeah, and if people want to check out more, obviously, go to openforge.ai and the resources. They have videos and articles and everything like that. You can watch Jason for hours on YouTube if you really choose to. I'm curious, when you launch this thing, and you've launched other companies before, how did the pricing evolution? How do you decide how to price this thing? Because there aren't tools out there like this. So where do you start?
Yeah, there's two different ways we look at pricing, and there are some hard truths here, and I won't shy away from them on the interview here. We are $400 a month as of this recording, late October in 2025. We're going to have a plan that's $400 a month. It is expensive, I understand, but it's a tool that does the work for you. And so the way we think about pricing is that we want to attract companies that will respect the product, that want the product, but also companies that are investing in this. So if you're investing in GEO, generative engine optimization, or AEO, answer engine optimization, we want this to be front and center for you, and we want you to use the product. We don't want to essentially, charge only $50 a month. Because if it's only $50 a month, then we're not going to be able to reinvest into the platform. We want to be able to take the margin that we have and invest in the platform to create more value for our customers. And so that's why it's $400 a month, which I understand. not cheap, but if you use the tool right, it works. I mean, our customers, and we can always go into that later on, but our
Did it
customers
start
have
like
seen.
that, Jason?
No, we started originally at 250 a month, and 250 a month. People actually people tell us that 250 a month was too cheap, and our customers still tell us 400 a month is too cheap. But we understand though that the little guy, the average guy, can't afford anything more than like 400 or 500 a month. So I get that there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. Whole point is we started at 250, then went to 300, then went to 350, we're now at 400 because we're providing more. And so the AI has more compute power, so our costs go up, and it is a whole unsexy thing in the background where we have
It's
costs here.
real dollars. I mean, if you're creating whatever 48 articles or something a month,
Yeah,
that is dollars and cents that's coming out of your account, regardless if someone uses it or not.
that's my point, right? It's like the tool works. Like we have the customers, we have a high retention rate. I can't go into some of that stuff; it's confidential. But our retention rate with customers is over 90%, which is above average for technology companies. Our customers love it. We have testimonials, case studies. We have a lot more that's coming. We're developing all that stuff right now. And more of all, the numbers speak for themselves. We don't lock anyone into annual contracts. It's all month to month. So we tell our customers, if you're not using this and you're not seeing results, don't pay for the next month. That's not, it's not good business for us or for anybody to lock you into a 1-year deal. We tell you, evaluate every month. And if you like what you're seeing and you're getting your ROI, pay for it again. And if not, no big deal. No harm, no foul. And that's how we ensure that we're providing real value and our customers are seeing that.
I want to talk about some use cases, right? Obviously, there's individual companies using it. There also, I can see a lot of use cases. I did an agency series. Who knows, of hundreds of interviews on Inspired Insider on top agencies. And I could see a huge agency use case for this. And I know you have a bunch of agencies using it. Maybe let's start with an individual one. You had a real estate property management company. How are they using it?
Yeah. So essentially, so this company is it's very interesting. They're not just a real estate management company. They're a platform that helps other real estate management companies manage their property. So they're for very big real estate organizations. And so they use it for content creation. A lot of these companies are companies in a space, or this company is in a space where it's somewhat hard to create content because it's not the sexiest product, but it's very necessary. And so what they do is they use our AI to identify where the gaps are in their market versus their own competitors. And then our AI will propose content topics and the AI will literally build the content out itself. And so they've been doing 2 articles a week, 3 articles a week using our formulas, our proprietary tech. And in 1 month, they saw a 464% increase in their AI brand visibility. It's a high number because our tech works. And, AI search, man, AI search is like America in the 1800s, going out west, claiming a lot of land for cheap, getting those big victories without really putting in a whole bunch of effort into it. I mean,
You feel
it's
it's
the
like the
beautiful
early
part.
days of SEO where you basically people would just put their keywords up and they start ranking.
It's not that easy because there
I'm not saying
already
it's that
is.
easy, but it's
Yes,
like
yeah,
that's the early days of SEO, right?
yeah. It's. I'll say this: your big competitors right now are not doing this because it just takes time to adjust strategy. It's easier to move a speedboat than it is to move an aircraft carrier. And you would rather have an aircraft carrier in a battle situation, of course, but in a flexibility speed situation, you might want a speedboat. And this is what the moment is in AI and in just business in general. You got to be fast, you got to be agile, and you can get a lot of easy wins off of AI search right now.
And Quilter, how are they using it?
Quilter is such a cool company. I love the guys, Darren and Cody, who work there. Quilter is using this essentially to create content, technical optimizations, and overall learn the differences between what their competitors are doing right and what they're doing right or wrong. The reason why that's important is because Quilter is a power control board, a PCB design technology. So they are designing physical technology. It's a very cool, it's a very cool use case here. And so they're using the full stack, right? They're using the test version of Helix to build out citations, and so we're proving it out with them. But they're also creating content, and then also finding out, all right, what are the bigger competitors and more legacy competitors in the industry doing? And then they're able to mimic what they do just to keep up. But then they use our third-party citation analysis platform to find out where the competitors are getting citations from. So Quilter can go to those third-party citations and pitch their own products and pitch their own guest posts and things like that. So it's a great way for Quilter to keep up with the legacy players in the industry.
What about agencies? I mean, that's all. I mean, I think from a technological standpoint, building out that piece of the software has got to be more complicated. And obviously, it sounds like you did that from the get-go. Talk about how agencies are using it, and is it like a different interface for them?
No, the interface is the same. We just added agency layer on top. So it's essentially the same. You get unlimited use. There's no limitations with anything. As far as the agencies, we have different use cases. So if you're an agency that serves technology, great, we got you. But the interesting part is that we serve a lot of agencies that work with home services, car dealerships, OEMs,
Lawyers.
local businesses, lawyers, doctors' offices. We serve all of those types of businesses, sports recreation organizations, teams, and things like that. And so what our AI also does is geo-targeting. So we could tell you how you're ranking on a geographic basis. So we have, for example, one customer that is a car dealership in Alberta. We have another customer that's a hotel. They're a holding company of hotels and car dealerships in the Midwest United States, actually not too far from you. We have another customer or a set of customers that are liquor stores and hospitality businesses in New Jersey. What we're able to do is show how these businesses are showing up in their own geographies, because they're not competing nationally. They're competing in Jersey, in the Midwest, in Alberta, on the West Coast. They're competing in specific geographies. So we show how they're showing up in their specific locale, their specific geography. And then we say, this is how you're showing up against the competition in your geography. And then this is what you should do to get seen by those search engines in that specific geography. So yeah, we could do it on a national basis, international basis, or literally in your small town, if that's applicable to you.
I want to talk about AI tools, right? I mean, this is kind of meta a little bit. Like before we hit record, we're like AI tooling. I mean, we're all using AI. You're using AI to run the business. There's backend APIs connecting to various things. I'm curious, some of your favorite AI tools out there.
Yeah, I'll name a bunch. I'd love to provide some value here for like all the listeners. So for email, we use Instantly AI for cold emails. They're good value, right? I mean, it's a good value. It's why we use them. We use Beehive, which is an email platform just to send emails out. They're not necessarily AI, but they have some cool AI tools. We use Canva for pure graphic design. And I use this really cool tool called Dripify for cold messaging on LinkedIn. Then we use a tool called Gamma for presentations and my webinars, masterclasses. I do them every Thursday from 12 to 1 Eastern. Gamma is nuts. You could put in copy and it'll create a beautiful presentation for you. I mean, it's everything that's right with AI. Highly recommend Gamma. Use Gamma. Then I use a platform called Ideogram, Ideogram, where you could tell the AI what you want out of an image, and it'll build that image out for you, 3 or 4 images or 5 or 10, whatever you like. And then you can adjust and make quick adjustments. Very easy to learn. I use ChatGPT for operations and, writing copy and just thinking through different things. ChatGPT, I hate to say it, is in some ways a therapist, business coach, as much as it is an advisor or a VC partner that's a very heavy hitting person who can help you with your business. Then we use basic tooling like DocSend, for investors and whatnot. There's some cool tools that are more, let's say, maybe not niche, but more meta. There's a tool called Minimax, Minimax, that I can use to create just cool AI imagery. It's got no limits on it. You just have to pay for tokens. We use Laura and Flux, which is a great way to adjust what the outputs of Minimax are. And there are classes that you can use on this, so it's all very easy to know and understand. We use 11 Labs to clone my voice. Then we use HeyGen, Heygen, to clone my voice and then create AI avatars for short form YouTube videos. We've been using that less because I've been doing more live YouTube videos, but it's something worth checking out. And we use napkin.ai for AI graphic like design if you want to create a literal chart. There's some other cool tools out there like called Typeset, which is great for creating ebooks. We haven't used that in a while only because we haven't created an ebook, but it's still worth it. There's a tool called Happenstance, which uses AI to analyze your own LinkedIn network and your friends' LinkedIn networks to see who's a good fit for introductions and whatnot. So it takes care of a lot of their research for you. And then ChatGPT or OpenAI just launched their Atlas browser. I use Atlas. I'm very AI forward. If it's a cool tool and it provides value, I'll use it. And I'll pay for it. And then, of course, we use a tool called Descript for video editing. We use that a little less now because our business has grown. So we've had to hire a human editor to take care of all of that stuff just because we're just so busy. But Descript, I have love for them. They did a great job for us. And so, more power to them. Those are generally the AI specific tools that we use. There are other tools that I use for my business that are just software related. We use a lot.
No, that's great, Jason. On a tech stack, what are you using for the business? Like from a project management, from a communication standpoint?
Slack to communicate, Trello to manage my projects, Google Sheets to manage just different projects and just, it's a spreadsheet. We use Loyee, Loyee, otherwise known, it's actually rebranded to Alpha, ALFA, just like yesterday or 2 days ago. It's run by two incredible women. That's for CRM enrichment. So it's a little bit of a niche product, but it's an incredible product. We use Knock 2 for for essentially identifying customer website or customer website visitors. I mentioned ChatGPT for like script writing and just general operations. You can ask ChatGPT thinking model anything; it'll get some really good stuff for you. Calendly for your calendar, like online links. Stripe for payment processing, Sales Navigator for doing research. If you could use Sales Navigator right, spend like a weekend learning it, it'll be really helpful for you. We use Google Sheet. The other thing too, I believe, man, is like if it doesn't need to be reinvented and there's no 10x value provided by an AI tool, just use a regular tool. So we use Google Docs. There's no need to do all that specific stuff if you don't need it. I like Perplexity for research purposes. So Perplexity as the LLM, but ChatGPT is my go-to. ChatGPT thinking model can handle everything for you. Pay the $20 a month, and it'll handle a lot of it for you. I would say Gemini is also a good LLM, but I have a love for Google in terms of what they've done for the internet, but they make their products very hard to use. So Gemini is a great LLM. It's just you got to jump through some hoops to use the damn products, take it for what it is. And then we use YouTube for all of our, uploading and, just video stuff. I hope YouTube has a competitor one day because they have a monopoly on the whole video ecosystem, but, here we are. So that's the tech stack we use. A lot of it is simple. A lot of entrepreneurs and founders all over the country use what I use. There's nothing really different here. It's more of you can build a successful business not reinventing the wheel and just doing the blocking and tackling correctly.
Jason, amazing. Appreciate your time, energy, sharing your journey, your lessons, insights. Everyone check out openforge.ai to learn more. And we'll see everyone next time. Jason, thanks so much.
I had a great time, man. Thanks for inviting me and thanks for having me. It's a very tumultuous, anxiety-inducing time for a lot of people. And I would tell everyone, keep the faith, stay strong, be gritty. You're all rugged individuals. AI, don't view it as an obstacle. View it as an opportunity. I promise you, there's tons of opportunity to be had, money to be made, and dreams to be built with AI. Don't be scared. Just embrace it. And Jeremy, looking forward to part 2 of our interview. And thank you very much for having me.
I love it. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone.
What I got, you can't buy. resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sailing right now. I feel like 100 grand.